Hello, guys. Welcome back to S3D, and this is definitely something I want to get off my chest. This actually has been going on for quite a few years. I don't know if this actually matter actually got resolved for some of my subscribers, but after I announced my leaving, you know, this hobby, quite a few people, I actually got a few angry comments about this situation. So I don't know. I'm curious. The guys who posted the comment and deleted it. Uh, did you guys have your issues resolved in this situation? And I actually do want to apologize about this whole situation in general. Now, the funny thing is, okay, I never dealt with this individual directly. I originally saw this individual through Team 978 and Shoki reviews. They feature him very prevalently on their channels in 2020. I think this guy is still part of Team 978's Syndicate Toy Hunter group or something like that. I know Team Man and him is kind of close, something like that. I kind of. Uh, Actually, Team NI 78 is still someone that I think is pretty okay on this platform. I pretty much disassociated myself with pretty much everybody. People have been telling me stories about all these YouTubers and stuff like that, and I'm just like, dude, you know what? I've seen enough over the years, and I've heard enough stories. I basically, I don't really talk to my peers in this community. For me, it's mostly just local people, people that I met in real life who's part of, who hangs out at the hobby shops and stuff like that. I think a lot of the old timers like Meats and, the other guys, they all actually have stopped posting content years ago because, they're just not really into the hobby, kind of like me at this point. But, life goes on, right? So either way, this story I actually spent a couple hours. It's like 3 a.m. in the morning, and I've been up pretty much all night looking into this detail. I can't find anything. However, I did actually find something that I find a little bit weird. Based on some videos I've seen in the past of what he's saying. I definitely see some inconsistencies, but anyway, if you don't know this whole situation, I'm gonna briefly talk about it. So this individual basically he had a Facebook store. He's actually he's been around for a while. Apparently he done a lot for the community, and a little bit background about this individual. The problem actually started in 2020 when he opened up his Facebook store and he started taking pre-orders. He's known to be able to import stuff that pretty much nobody else can get. Yeah, I talk about this with like my friends who are actual business owners, and nobody knows. Like they're like, well, he must have some way of getting these stuff that nobody else can get, even they can get. So it's actually really interesting. Apparently, Bluefin um, I guess he had hookups with Bluefin or something, and Bluefin, the reps actually gave him stuff that other, business owners can get, which is amazing, surprisingly. But from what I understand, it's like none of the stuff actually went into fruition. Like people gave him thousands of dollars worth of pre-orders. I mean, he was sitting on a lot of money, and a lot of these products never showed up. And one of the bigger seller, well-known person in the community, which I also take very seriously, Supreme Collector Brendan Wong or something. He said some really nasty things about this individual, and to me that actually that was kind of a determining factor. When this whole situation happened. It's kind of my little megalopolis situation. I wasn't involved, but Shardamus Prime promoted Megalopolis, and everybody hated him for doing that because essentially a lot of his viewers got scammed. Apparently, some of my viewers, ex-former subscribers, these people are coming back. It's like, oh, you're quitting, man. You're like one of those bullshit guys. But anyway, what happened was, I show some sympathy to this individual, in 2020 or something, so somewhere around those time, his wife actually passed away, and I heard it on Shoki. Shoki actually didn't show any GoFundMe link and stuff like that. I found it through another YouTuber. So I found a GoFundMe page, and people were telling me, well, it's kind of weird. He didn't set up a GoFundMe page for his own wife, something like that when she passed away. It was like the sister of the wife who started the GoFundMe page. I donated $10 and I put, go support this guy, because he's going through a difficult time. And from what I understand, from what I read on TFW 2005, this guy has been, really big in the Transformer community, and he's been, hooking people up with stuff that's super hard to get. So, seems like pretty legit guy. I don't know the whole backstory. I don't know anything. I never really heard anything like weird about this person. So I was like, okay, yeah, cool guy. I seen him on Shoki. Seems pretty legit. He's friends with T-Man Night someday. I mean, even Kuma style vouched for him, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, go help this guy out. Donate $10, $5, right? I mean, that's really not a big deal, that's very serious matter, right? And then over the years, with the Facebook stores, obviously, a lot of people always come to me looking for like super rare items that they can't get, and I'm always bothering my friends who own comic shops and hobby shops, and they're like, dude, like we can't really get this stuff, once we pre-ordered it, we only ordered enough for our customers who are actually willing to pay for it in the store. If somebody's online who wants to buy it, that's very sketchy. What if they don't pay for it? Are you gonna pay for it if they don't pay for it? And I'm like, yeah, see, that's a problem, right? So a lot of things fall through the cracks because people can't make up their mind or commit. And the funny thing is, I'm like, okay, well, if you can't commit, why don't you go check this guy out? He seems to have all this stuff like on pre-order, right? And the thing is, like, these guys, like, they would never give us money, even though my friend has a physical brick and mortar store, has a good reputation, being around for years, right? They didn't give us any money for the pre-order. I mean, I think if they pre-order stuff with us or with me, we will like make it our top priority that they will get the item eventually, right? They went on Facebook and give out their money, like thousands of dollars, to this guy for the pre-orders. And then later on, when this whole thing happened, like he wasn't fulfilling the orders, making excuses like, oh, pandemic, the stuff getting stuck on the ships and stuff, like all kind of excuses. I've seen it all, in 2021, 2022. It was actually very stressful because I feel like, I'm kind of responsible because I told these guys to go, shop at this place because I mean, nothing came out until I started looking at his Facebook page and people are like complaining, and then the Brendan, talk about this whole situation, like they caught him in so many lies and stuff like that. I mean, there's definitely some weird stuff going on here, and I'm gonna go through this Transformers TF 2000. He's actually a member on TFW 2005, and the people just very upset with this guy about a lot of his situation here. So a couple of things that stands out that kind of upsets me is obviously I donated measly $10. For his wife passed away, and then 6 months later, supposedly, he got remarried to this Filipino lady from the Philippines, and people are like, from what I understand, people was attacking her on Facebook and her family members about this whole situation. Which again, this is nothing like I can condone. This is ridiculous. Like that's another person. Like, how would she know what he was into, right? Like it's completely ridiculous, and um, so yeah, okay. So apparently, so this individual right here, Transformer fanatic, he's the one who started that page, the Facebook page, about how people are getting scammed by this individual, and it actually gained quite a bit of traction here. Again, it's just a couple guys here on TFW. None of these guys are my subscribers. My subscribers were commenting on the Facebook page because they stand by Supreme Collector. They're his homeboys, and whatever Supreme Collector says, they agree. I am kind of neutral. I give people benefit of the doubt, but then again, I never actually deal with this person individually. And what really sucks is people hate me for this. Like, literally, I have people who hated my guts. They think like I'm somehow involved. I'm getting like, you know, like referral fees or something by telling them to go pre-order these things that we can't even get, right? Because he could get it. Because that's what I heard. That's what everybody's telling me. It's incredible. And even when my friend told me that, like Bluefin screwed him over by not giving him, 5 copies of one specific item, but they gave it to this guy. That is when I was like, wow, this guy must have connections, right? Like, how is he able to, like, he doesn't even have a brick and mortar store. He has a Facebook store. Like, he's beating guys who actually owns brick and mortar store who orders a lot from Bluefin, who has an account for years. Bluefin's gone. It's now Bandai Namco and whatever, in ancient history, which only goes by a couple of years anyway. But this is a very, very interesting situation. So, I mean, like, I don't know exactly the conversations that's going on because I don't see the emails. Nobody's proposing physical, reliable evidence here. This is just, he said, she said kind of situation. But, according to a lot of people, there is a lot of inconsistencies, and people have caught him in several lies. And his behavior around, the time of this incident happening, it's very erratic, it's very inconsistent, and it's really weird. To me, there's many, many red flags. When I deal with someone that's always been doing this kind of stuff, I get sketched out myself. He moves around a lot, like across the country, like literally from one end of the country to another end, from like somewhere in the East Coast to California to Texas. I don't know where he is right now. But, someone is moving around a lot, that's weird, right? It says right here that he's dealing with cancer. From what I understand about this individual, from watching Shoki's videos, Shoki showed him a lot. I know Shoki's reputation is not good right now. It's, in fact, like, I don't see any views on his channel. He has less views than me. And I hardly post anything. I even took a year off. I don't know. Like, apparently, it seems like a lot of people don't like Shoki. I don't know. People actually hated him, but I know for a fact I'm making this video because people actually hated my guts, and I'm responding to these people because I don't want to leave all this negativity unaddressed. When I'm gone from this channel, I want people to at least clear this record. So from what I understand, I'm watching this video and I asked a lot of people who are veterans who serve in the military, who have contracted disease or have received injuries. I actually don't know if anybody actually developed cancer because of them serving in the military. I know Marines who were injured. I even know Marines who are currently YouTubers, and I know people from the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and stuff like that. Retired Navy, retired Air Force, quite a lot of people, and I asked them about this whole situation. So from my understanding, uh, is that I don't think he actually have cancer because in this video, a lot of people are telling me all kind of crazy stuff about these giveaway contests. I don't do any giveaway contests, and I don't condone giveaway contests, but they're doing this like Shoki was doing this contest called the MS, multiple sclerosis. It's actually like neurological nerve related disease that you can develop from like certain type of injuries that you develop. So I watched this video. I actually watched a live stream 4 years ago when they talked about it, and it seems like he knows this disease very well. So I know he has it, and he's getting treatment through the VA, the veteran. So if you don't understand how how these healthcare system works in the U.S., is that okay? If you serve in the U.S. military, you qualify for the VA, which is basically your healthcare. Supposedly, they take care of you for a long time, maybe for life. However, here's a kicker. Let's say if you develop specific type of like very expensive diseases, you actually have to prove to the military, the VA, that you develop these uh, disease like cancer or MS because of your service, doing what you did in the military. So basically, he tells a story how he had like spinal injury that he has to get like his spine surgery, and he's shorter or something. And from what I understand, like he gets treatment for these kind of stuff through the military, and he also talked about disability. So I know he's getting money from the government for disability because that's what everybody's telling me, that that's how it works. Now, these guys are outsiders. They're just watching the video and giving me pointers, if stuff checks out or not. So this whole MS thing checks out. But the interesting thing is when we go back to the, obviously the TFW threat, they're talking about him having to, get treatment for cancer, which I don't know. Like, I don't think it's cancer. And I don't think it costs any money because I think the VA covers it. If he's on disability, that means he's getting money from the government, right? Oh, but then, people like Kuma Style who, plays the devil's advocate and he just vouches for the guy and stuff like that. I don't actually watch a lot of Kuma Style videos. So, maybe like 10, 15 years where I'm just curious about collectibles and stuff like that, I did. But, I have not watched him for over 10 years. So yeah, interesting. Like there's a lot of inconsistency. So a lot of people are telling me about the whole red flag situation. Like, oh, he's taking all the people's money to pay for his Filipino mail order bride or something like that. That is really really derogatory. I'll be honest with you. I take offense when people say stuff like that personally. I'm not Filipino. I'm Chinese, but like I take this kind of stuff seriously. I'm like, dude, grow up, guys. Like I don't think this has anything to do with that. And attacking people who's not like like whatever. Like she did not take your money. Like everything is this guy's responsibility. Like he didn't fulfill your order. Like go question this guy, right? Like people would do like weird things and blame like a whole bunch of other people for a problem that that they can directly deal with the individual. I heard a lot of people trying to do PayPal chargebacks, and it didn't work because PayPal has a policy like if it's over 6 months, well then you're screwed, right? But from what I understand is that he is actually making it good for a lot of his customers. People are actually getting refund. But you just have to be very, very loud on social media kind of situation where you keep complaining and complaining and complaining. Uh, I heard it's kind of like the same thing with Megalopolis. If you complain a lot, if you're the first in line, chances are you can get a refund. In Megalopolis, people lost like hundreds of dollars or something like that. With this situation, I heard people lost up to like $2,000 or something, which obviously people are still upset to this day. Otherwise, I wouldn't see those comments. So yeah, this is definitely something I need to put to bed. I don't want to deal with this like 10 years later. It's like, oh yeah, do you remember this bullshit that you got us into? I'm like, yeah, dude, come on. Like, dude, we're gonna be in our 50s and 60s, and we're gonna be arguing about this bullshit situation for like 10, 20, 50 years ago or something. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know. Like, you guys let me know if this situation got resolved. You guys got your refunds. I know there's a lot of scammers out there. I'm actually really glad that I never watched any Studio G's content and promoted any of his stuff, because that would be actually worse than this, because like that's actually Gunpla related. I heard people still hate Studio G's guts. Like, if you watch anybody who collaborate with Studio G and do any sort of content with him, you get like a whole bunch of hate comments about how this guy's a scammer and stuff like that's horrible. That guy was actually, I think he tried really hard. He just really doesn't understand business. And I really think like his warehouse people in the East Coast, like completely screw him over. Like, literally, like, I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but like the way I look at it and the way people analyze it, he got screwed by his business partners. Like, it's insidious, it's malicious, like, and that's it. And then he made some really really dumb mistakes because people are pressuring really hard about the refunds, and he ended up refunding the wrong people, like actual scammers. Of course, that's nothing to do with this guy, but I feel like um, obviously, like the thing with this whole type of situation is there is actually a lot of lies involved uh, in this kind of situation, and for that purpose, we have to understand human nature. People lie, especially when they're getting pressure. They're dealing with all kind of things. I am not playing the devil advocates here, and I'm not trying to defend this guy. If he did something wrong, then he had to face the consequences. But think about this: the guy's wife died. Apparently, he's suffering from multiple sclerosis. He's on disability, so he's not working. He's getting money from the government, and then he has 4 kids. Like, that is a lot. He's got a lot to deal with, and like, people is like, oh yeah, if you have that much responsibility, why are you still buying collectibles? Well, I think that is something that we can't say at all, because like, what are you doing with your money, right? What am I doing with my money, right? Everybody's got their problem. Like, if we're doing YouTube videos, we're on the social media complaining about luxury goods. I don't think we have any rights to criticize other people for, these type of situation. That is irrelevant, right? I mean, we're all guilty of like being somewhat cavalieric with our finances. So yeah, I don't care about any of that. I'm just saying, this guy have to deal with all these things, and taking people's money and just holding it for such a long time and giving them bullshit excuses, that is wrong. Like, I have no uh, I don't have any. I'm not gonna defend that. I'm just like, dude, that's just wrong, right? Lying to people about that situation, I can understand it, but it is still wrong. And I can understand why people are still mad about this whole situation. I mean, if you get screwed over $10 and you never get refunded because you forget, well, it is what it is. It sucks. It's wrong. But why? At the time, a lot of people warned me about this whole situation, and I'm like, "What, are you a hater? Like, what's going on?" And then I actually, before I quit for the first time for a year, I was actually really stressed out. because a lot of people are constantly texting me about this whole situation. I was dealing with a lot of shit, you know, at the time, and I just didn't want to deal with it. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then, recently, after me announcing me quitting the hobby and stuff like that, people are coming in and like, dude, you need to talk about this. This needs to be dealt with. You're an asshole. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And actually, I don't do consignment sales for any of these people at all. Whatever, like, I don't know where the stuff is. I don't know what's going on. I don't need to do consignment sales for people that I know personally. I do not know this individual personally. So I'm not selling anything of his at all. It's like, right now at this point, I don't do consignment for anybody. I'm just selling my own shit. So yeah, it is what it is, man. Like, you guys let me know what happened. Uh, I know there's actually quite a few other guys that I want to talk about. Over the years I promoted a lot of guys, and let me tell you, on YouTube, on social media, there are tons and tons of bad apples. In fact, like, there's literally shit on everybody. Believe it or not, like, remember a couple months ago with Anthony's Customs about that whole stupid Battletoad situation? A lot of people came to me about, how he's getting paid, how his friends with the guys from Megalopolis. I'm like, dude, none of this shit check out, dude. You're wasting my time. I'm like investigating this like CoffeeZilla, and I did not find anything relevant. You know, Basically, I just find like an article where a guy give play by play of the whole situation about the refunds and the lies and the bullshit, right? Like, he's not involved in any of this thing. The only thing he was doing is actually just reviewing the product objectively, saying that it's good. And I actually got access to those figures from another customer, and they were pretty decent figures, right? I mean, if I don't know the whole situation about Megalopolis, like, dude, it's just crazy how much scumminess that's go like yeah, there's a lot of shit in this community. Like I said before, if you watch my previous video, I've been through many different communities, right? I've seen a lot of shitty stuff, but in this community, I have seen a lot more than the other stuff. The reason for that is, there's so many genres, so many things that are mixed into this community, so many different line, so many different product types. That's why there's so many people here. With the other community, like the car communities, it's a bunch of car salesmen or shady business people, literally like scamming people and getting away with it too. Like, they get away with it until they get sued, and then they bankrupt their company, and they start over. It's pretty disgusting. That's why I'm not part of the car community. I don't even actually care about cars. If you understand like the stuff that goes behind the scene, it kind of ruins your whole experience about the whole entire genre. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with guns too. There's a lot of nasty stuff going on with guns, and with guns, there's also like a lot of illegal things, like stuff that's genuinely horrible uh, in that community. Like with this community, it's just a bunch of guys who doesn't understand business. Like, trying to get into business and completely fucking it up, and then get back into a corner by a whole bunch of angry mob, and they just pull excuses out their ass, and how to deal with this kind of situation. Also, again, I don't think, if you're in this community, a lot of us, I hate to say this, a lot of us are very cavalieric with our spending. We have people who have no income, no zero income, who's probably living off government benefits, and they're spending it like a huge percent of that benefit on collectibles and stuff like that, right? Again, I'm not judging. I'm one of those guys who you know end up being very cavalier with my spending. If I'm not careful, you know. Uh, I've been through difficult times because I was buying a lot of high end collectibles, like a complete freaking idiot, and I would admit that because that's what happened. I got myself into financial, a lot of very bad financial situations because of my spending on collectibles. The business actually killed my finances, completely bankrupt me, but all my little bit of extra spending money, I end up buying a whole bunch of stuff that I barely use. So, and then I have to resell them for like less than nothing because they don't hold their value. So yeah, don't be so quick to judge people. Look at the facts, make your own decision, and stop blaming other people for your problems. At the end of the day, these are luxury goods. You're buying them for selfish purposes, right? It's like, sometimes it's an honest mistake, sometimes it's malicious. But, if you're not the person involved, you're not involved in a lawsuit, you actually got your money back, stop being so bitter, and just let things go for once or something like that. I really hated being involved in this whole situation. For as long as it was. I thought people forgotten about it. People got the refund. People are mad. It's whatever. It's in the past. It's been like 4 years, 3 years, and people are still mad about this whole situation. So, here's my explanation. You guys go look at the evidence and you guys make your own decision about this whole situation. I am 100% not involved in this. I'm sorry that I have to talk about this guy in the past, because of this whole situation. And I'm sorry that I refer some of my viewers to go buy stuff from this guy. And I'm sorry that, um, I don't even know why I'm like, I, to be honest, I probably should not even make this video because I feel like I'm just getting trolled. But this is actually upsetting me to the point that I am losing sleep, and I'm making this video because I want to clear things up. But yeah, there's definitely inconsistencies here that kind of troubles me. But then I'm conflicted. I know respectable people who would vouch for this guy, but then at the same time, I also know respectable people in this community who is completely calling this guy out for questionable behaviors and weird stuff that doesn't make a lot of sense. And I've seen a lot of like crooked things in the community, and I'm 50-50 right here. You know, there's enough stuff that triggers my alarm, but then I also have to look at there's this thing that I'm a little bit too sympathetic. I empathize with people who have experienced loss. That is something that that means a lot to me. You know, having experienced loss myself. It's like you understand the pain, the suffering that the people go through, and you don't want to justify the wrongdoing, but you kind of can understand it. But at the end of the day, if it's like if it's black and white, it is still wrong. So anyway, just giving you guys my take on this situation. Hopefully, we can resolve this. I want to get rid of all my haters. To be honest with you, like with the whole Macari thing, with this whole situation, and then there's plenty more other situations, like how I deleted like 2,000 videos on this channel and never wanting to do brick toy construction. I think that video will be coming up at some point. I alienated thousands of my viewers, subscribers, in 2018 when I deleted over 2,000 videos. Basically, I wiped my channel clean out of all the brick toy construction videos because I decided I didn't want anything to do with it. And I thought my channel was gonna die there and then because like there's no content that they want to watch. But the thing is, it's actually amazing that I grew this channel up from 2,000 subscribers to like 7,000 subscribers after I wiped the channel clean out all the old content. you know, my peers were telling me this is like the dumbest move anybody has ever made in the history of YouTube. But I survived, and I gained 5,000 more subscribers. So who knows? This is like the toy genre, and the way I do my content is, very very lazy to some people. A lot of people don't agree with my opinions. They think like it's very unpopular. But I do know like some people do actually agree with my opinion. So it's 50-50. Like so anyway. Um, I'm actually really tired of making content. Like every time I come on YouTube, I see all these disgusting things. It is affecting my mental health, to be honest with you. Like, uh, I don't have a very negative outlook in reality, but when I come on YouTube and I look at all these crazy things, you know, it actually depresses me. As much as I want to create these content for my viewers, explain about this kind of situation to give you guys, the uh, different points of views and stuff like that. I can't really go on because of all the craziness and all the insanity, like, yeah. So anyway, I think that's it. I wanted to end this video, but I'm like rambling. So yeah, hopefully we can resolve this matter. You guys go look at the evidence. You guys make your decision. Thanks for watching.